Okay, so this story is definitely quite the interesting one. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Oh, real quickly, before I start this video, I just want to say I'm dropping a new song tonight at midnight. So, yeah, it'll be on Apple Music and YouTube at midnight and maybe Spotify. I don't know. Spotify sometimes takes a little bit longer. So Spotify might be later on tomorrow. But, yeah, new song tonight. So today's story time all takes place as a normal day back in freshman year of high school. Now, this was actually my first week of high school, believe it or not. And I didn't know really what to expect. I mean, I was getting used to it. I was learning, how much different it was from middle school. And honestly, it wasn't that much different other than the fact that your grades mattered a lot more and your teachers were a little more, serious with teaching you because, it's preparing you for college. But for the most part, I was acclimating pretty well and things were going pretty good. That was, of course, until I think about 4 or 5 days in, I witnessed one of the most insane things that I think most people have probably not witnessed. So this all starts off as any other day in freshman year for me. I woke up, it was like right before the bus got there. I had to rush and get ready. That's how most of these stories in high school take place because I was very, very irresponsible when it came to waking up on time. But I got ready, jumped on the bus, went to school. And I got to school very early. My bus arrived at 7:05 a.m. and my class started at 7:20. So yeah, it was not a fun morning. I did not like getting up that early, and I'm sure most of you don't either if your school starts that early. But just like any other day, I walked into school, went to my locker, and I started going through my backpack and getting things ready for the day. And while I was doing that, I start hearing some odd sounds coming from behind me. And when I say odd sounds, I mean like yelling sounds. It sounds like people are yelling at each other. And I turn around and I notice one of the 10th grade teachers was yelling at one of my teachers, one of the 9th grade teachers, and they were going back and forth about something. And I wanted to hear what they were talking about and yelling about, so I closed my locker and I quickly walked over to them to see what was going on. And a crowd was kind of forming around them because, everybody else was interested in the drama. And as I approached, I learned that they were yelling at each other over a woman. Yeah, which is crazy because that's the type of shit you would see two kids yelling at each other over in high school. But this time it was two teachers. But yeah, they were arguing about this girl. And if I had to guess, it's probably a girl they both wanted to date or were dating or something. I don't know. And maybe they found out. I don't know, right? I don't really know how it came about. But I do know they were yelling about a girl because they kept bringing up her name. And after a little crowd started to form around these teachers, the 10th grade teacher was like, everybody get out of here. Everyone get out of here. There's nothing to see. Get moving. Get moving. And, some people dispersed, but other people didn't. I'm not going to lie. I was definitely one of the nosy people that didn't go away. I kind of stayed there in the distance and kept watching. And this argument only seemed to get worse after this. They started yelling at each other even louder. The 9th grade teacher started saying that, she loves him and that other guy was just, a friend with an obsession. They were going at each other about this girl, right? And eventually, it gets a little too serious. They start getting in each other's faces, very, very hard, about to fight in each other's faces. And throughout all of this, I have no idea, but there's no security anywhere, no other teachers that break it up. It's just students. And students in 9th grade, they're not going to break up a teacher argument because they're teachers, and the teachers are supposed to be the ones breaking up the arguments. But anyway, these two teachers get in each other's face, and they're really going at it, right? And one of them says something a little bit too far. This is also something that I think most teachers would deem inappropriate for school, language-wise. But the 10th grade teacher goes, yeah, whatever you say, I slept with her first, and she said I was better. And I was like, damn, okay, those are fighting words. And naturally, the other teacher did not like that very much, and he pushed him, and from there, a full-blown teacher fight broke out. Now, naturally, when this happened, the entire hallway of kids circled around them because they wanted nothing more but to get a good view of two teachers beating on each other at 7 in the morning. I remember standing back and watching this unfold as they're hitting each other, and my friend walks up and goes, "Is that our history teacher?" And I was like, "Yep." And he goes, "He's fighting one of the 10th grade teachers?" I was like, "Yep." He's like, "Why?" And I was like, "A girl." And he goes, "Dude, are we sure they're not the freshmen?" And I was like, "I know." And then my other friend walked up and he was like, "Is that our teacher fighting?" And I was like, "Yep." And he goes, "Bro, it's 7 in the morning." And I was like, "I know." And these teachers are just beating on each other, right? Now, luckily, it didn't last long. I'd say it lasted about a whole minute. And finally, the security rounded the corner and saw them and broke it up. But let me just give you some context because there's some more than just that. So I'm going to say this. The 9th grade teacher, our teacher, was definitely winning. I'll say that, okay? That dude had some hands. The security had a very hard time breaking it up because it was two fully grown adults that were in pretty good shape, so that security guard needs a raise. That dude's good at his job. And then the funniest thing about this is after he breaks it up, the security guard escorts the two teachers up to the main office. And I couldn't help but laugh a little bit because, like, it felt like I was in some parallel universe where, like, we were the teachers and the teachers were the students. Because, like, they got into a fight, which is something that, like, you know, freshmen obviously did and high school students did. But then also, they got escorted to the main office by security. It's like, dude, these were the kids this day. It was crazy. Now you're probably wondering what happened after that, and I will tell you. So, the two teachers got escorted up to the main office, and naturally, we never saw either of them again in person. And the next morning when I went into school, I went up to the school counselor's office because I had to ask her a question about my schedule that I was confused about. And while I was there, I was like, hey, do you know anything about, like, the history teacher and, like, that 10th grade teacher? Like, what happened? And she was like, I can't say much, but obviously you can assume they both got kicked out of here. And I was like, yeah, they got fired. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And I went home later that day after school, and I found out through the news, my mom actually was watching it, that both teachers not only got fired, but got in trouble with the cops. They got charges because obviously you can't be a fully grown adult and fist fight each other in a school. Like, that's just not okay. So obviously that's illegal. Now, I'm going to be honest, I tried to find the news article. I thought it might be archived somewhere on the internet because, you know, most things are. But unfortunately, I can't find it. I don't know what station aired it or if it's even on the internet, but I thought it would be, but I could not find it. I even tried asking my mom if she remembered the extent of, like, the charges they got, but she didn't know. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't tell you what charges they got or if they went to jail or something, but I never saw them again at my school. Literally the next day, we had a substitute history teacher, and then we got a permanent history teacher like a week later that filled in for the rest of the year. And he was pretty cool, and he was definitely the kind of guy that would not get into a fist fight at 7 in the morning. And as for the 10th grade teacher, I'm assuming the same thing happened. They got a substitute, probably got a permanent teacher shortly after that. Yeah. But the rest of that year, there wasn't any other teacher fights, so that was a good thing. I also never found out who the woman was either. I don't know if she worked at my school or if she was just somebody they both knew, like, through the teacher scene, but it seemed that way, but we never found out. But yeah, guys, there is a moral to this story, and that is, violence is never the answer. Unless it's self-defense, you should refrain from hitting somebody. And if you're a damn teacher watching this, try not to fight any other teachers, especially in the school. But yeah, guys, definitely a crazy one, definitely one that I look back on and think, what the hell was my high school experience? It's not every day where you walk into school at 7 in the morning, tired, half asleep, and you see two teachers start throwing hands, dude. Like, what the hell? But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. If you did, as always, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys all later. Peace.
I'm in a bad mood, I can see it today. I remember all my friends and now I'm all that remains. I got some bad news, gotta go, I can't stay. Yeah, this place I call the home is slowly